Okay, so here's the entrance to the garden. Here's Chasey and Archer. Here's some tall phlox that's starting to flower. There's pink and white. I actually found this phlox in the woods and then moved it here, so I think it was something that the previous owner had at some point. It was along the edge of the woods. Very nice. And then if we come in here, here's the rock wall. This is where the chickens were hanging out and giving themselves dirt baths and just absolutely eating all of these plants down to almost nothing. And as you can see, they came back really nicely. The tomatoes in here, I just wanted to talk about tomatoes for a second because we did get all that rain and all that flooding, and a lot of my tomatoes, I saved seeds from some hybrids, which isn't a great idea, and this is actually evidence of that. So the hybrids that I had last year were blight resistant, but the seeds that I saved and planted, the tomato plants look terrible. They grew way too fast. They all have blight. But like, as you can see in here, I bought fresh seeds this year, heirlooms. These are black cherry heirloom tomatoes. And because they're in this bed under the eaves, I can control how much water they get. So it's a blight resistant heirloom variety already. And then they just look really good because they did not get like soaking wet. And then in here also we have all of the calendula and the bright lights cosmos, and then we have I did put some petunias in here, which we have one flowering right there. And those are the Super Bellissima Rose petunias from Baker Creek, heirloom seeds. And then there's a couple squash plants in here. I ran out of room in the garden, so I put a couple squashes. I'm actually not even sure if they're squashes or cucumbers. And then I also had these pepper plants. They don't look that good because I just put them in here and they weren't doing good in the little pots, but they're starting to perk up. And then this one is starting to turn purple. That's the Violet Sparkle pepper also from Baker Creek. So once this is completely purple, I will pick it and try it. And then there are morning glories in here, but they haven't started flowering yet, but they won't take very long. And then here's the sort of the rest of the garden. There's the daisies, and then the strawberries, and just a bunch of herbs, mint, oregano, all of that pink yarrow. It's just kind of wild and crazy. Like, I'll focus on the things I want to focus on. Oh, the sage. I cut a bunch of sage to make those smudge sticks, and it grew back really nicely too. It looks really good over there. And then all of this pink yarrow, which is pretty popular with these little, I think they're called furrow bees. You can see. They're just like, it's covered in these little tiny bees. And then the apple of Peru has a flower. I planted it and something happened, like the top broke off. I'm not sure if an animal did that, but so I just took it off and it's starting to come back now. And then here's these are my two elderberry bushes, and I wasn't sure. I was kind of surprised they didn't get super well pollinated, but the ones down here got pollinated. The flowers that were down here, they had white flowers, and then each white flower becomes an elderberry as long as it is pollinated. So actually this is pretty good. But the ones up top did not get pollinated that well. And then in here's all the cucumbers and squashes and the borage. The borage, with all the rain, is starting to flop over. There are some younger plants, so I might pull some of that borage out or clip some of it back And then here's the cucumber plants that look really, really good. And then you can see all the little cucumber flowers in there and in here. Look at that. Look at all the flowers. It's crazy. And then there's some, I don't even know what squashes. I just planted whatever I had. And then over here are the grapevines that are coming back. The chickens like demolished these two, but they're coming back. They look really, really good. Big, big grapevines. I haven't seen a flower yet. I'm still waiting to see a flower. And then in here is onions. The spotted bee balm, which will probably look like that next year, but a different variety. And then, what did I say? Did I say volunteer tomatoes? I'm not sure what I said. Okay, so volunteer tomatoes, onions, bee balm, and these wood sorrels, which I always thought this was clover. Like my whole life, I was like, oh, that's a clover, and it's not. Oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Oh, we have a visitor. I think that's a Canadian swallowtail when I looked it up. So pretty. They love this bee balm. Anyways, onions, wood sorrels, tomatoes, bee balm. I think that's everything in that bed. And these volunteer tomatoes actually also look really good. I don't see any blight. I see a little bit of insect damage, maybe a tiny bit, but I don't see any yellowing at all. They look really good. And then this tomato looks insane. I'm not really sure what's going on with it. And then this is the dahlia bed. And I kept all of the wood sorrels in this bed. Because, well, I thought they were clover, so I thought they were nitrogen fixers, but they're not. But they're not. They have a symbiotic relationship with a nitrogen-producing bacteria. I can't remember. I wrote everything down, but for a different video. And you can eat wood sorrels. Native Americans used to eat them. Use them as medicine and make tea with them. They have a lemony flavor. Actually, they're not bad compared to other greens like dandelion greens. I feel like are really bitter, but the wood sorrels actually are not that bad tasting. Like I definitely put them in a salad or something, or dry them out and make a tea. I feel like it would be pretty good. Oh, look at this moth. Let's see if I can zoom in. Let's see, where are you? Oh, there you are. I'm gonna have to pause the video and do like a screenshot, and then I can ID that guy. He's so pretty looking. And then over here are the tomatoes I planted that are not doing so good. I think these are the pink Ozarks, and they don't look too bad. And I'm like, is that the beginning stages of blight, or is it just a little bit of insect damage? And then over here was the saved seed, and that's definitely blight. And I pulled off all of the bottom leaves, but you can see it's like some kind of thing is killing the leaves on the bottom. I mean, there are some tomatoes on here. I don't know. I might pull them out. I might not. I'm not sure. And then this is the echinacea I planted from seed last year, and the pollinators really love that. And I did not think that I was gonna like echinacea as much as I like it. I thought it was kind of plain looking, but it's kind of fun to watch the flower in different stages, because it goes from like this to like this kind of spiky thing. And then obviously the pollinators love it. There's a little furrow bee and a bumblebee. Yes, they just love it. And then this is our great mullein, which is still doing really good. It's the tallest thing in the garden. It's so tall. And I left it, I knew what it was and I left it. It has some medicinal properties. I think you can eat the roots too, like a carrot. but I just thought it was cool looking and it adds a lot of height. And then in here's the peppers. The peppers don't look good. They never really looked good. And things are eating them before I can kind of get to them. I mean, we'll see. I just don't know. The leaves, something's eating the leaves, something's eating the peppers. This looks like a violet. I think maybe they just got too much rain. I'm not sure. I might try the tomatoes in that bed that's under the eaves too next year. Oh, there's our little buddy again. Look at him. So pretty. And then this is our bee balm, and I actually think I accidentally planted 3 different varieties in here because there's 3 different colors. There's like this dark stuff that I think I got at Houghton's that grows closer to the ground, and then there is this baby pink kind of stuff like here, and then there's also like a lavender colored kind, and it's covered in bees and butterflies and these clear wings. There's a clear wing right there. The other day I counted on here 4 clear wings, and 2 of them were mating, so I was like, oh yay. And of course the clear wings are the last stage in like the life cycle of the hornworm, you know, those things that eat your tomatoes. So if I find hornworms, I don't like to kill them because I like to see these clear wings because they're just so cool looking. So I'll just throw some tomato clippings in the woods with them, or I'll plant some. Oh, there's 2. Oh, there's 2 of those swallowtails. Look, I just saw another one. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's so cool. I guess we came out at the exact right time. Yeah, and then there is a wool carder bee in here too, and we'll see if we can find him. There's only been 1 so far, and he kind of likes to hang out towards the back. I don't see him right now though, so we'll just keep walking around. And then this is the zinnia bed. There's a swallowtail on one of the zinnias. I did just deadhead some of the zinnias because I have a lot of cosmos interplanted with them in here, and I want the cosmos to be able to catch up. There are some slugs in here. Oh, there's a clear wing. Is he sleeping? He looks like he's sleeping. Let's see. Yeah, so this is all the zinnias. Some of them don't look so good, but they usually, after the slugs get them, they usually come back. It just takes them a little while longer. Yeah, there he is. I see. He's just taking a little rest. And then this is a rose that I planted, which is like one long stem. I need to cut it way back. It does have some buds on it though, so I might cut it to about here so that these little buds can flower. And then I think that's it. Yeah, so it's very much right now a very weedy pollinator garden. And then I am excited for the cucumbers and the onions and the squashes and hopefully some grapes at some point, and the sage and everything else. Let's see. Look at that. My goodness. I wonder where that bee is. I'm just gonna look around real quick. He's super, oh, there he is. He's super easy to spot because he has white legs. Let's see, there he is. See, he's just super different looking. He is pretty territorial too. Like, I'll be out here and I'll try to get him, you know, on camera or whatever. and he'll do this thing where he flies up to the front of your face and kind of stares you down until you back up, and then you back up and he comes a little bit closer until you're far enough away, and then he goes back to what he was doing. Oh, there's a cool wasp too. So many cool, like, I love seeing all the pollinators. Look at that. So cool. It just adds like a whole nother huge layer of interest to the garden to see all these creatures. So yeah, I think that's everything. So, oh, and there's our little apple tree. Someday it's gonna make apples. Someday. And then over there is some of the globe thistle too. I don't know if you can see it. I have to clean up that mess next to the house. But that's it for this garden and for this garden tour. So yeah. So hopefully I'll make another video where we are harvesting some produce from this garden. Okay, see you later. Bye.